all at the complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2025 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 23rd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's a cool one out there. It's going to be a cool, 95 degrees. Tomorrow's supposed to reach triple digits. I felt at times this summer like we almost kind of had it easy. There was like a week where it was like 100 degrees, and then like literally the next week it was like 72. It happened to be the week that my parents were here. It was amazing. They're not used to heat or humidity, being from the West Coast. So I think they were literally sweating their rear ends off when it was like 100 and humid. But then when it was 72, they were like incredibly relieved. You like hot weather?
Not at all.
The pool? Lakes?
I like the pool.
Any of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about moving down to Phoenix. I always kind of go back to that, and I spent about 2 days there. When I was flying in, I go, wow, everybody's got a pool here. That's awesome. And then about after 2 days, it's not a pool for luxury. You need that after about a half an hour of work.
It's a pool for survival, man.
That's right.
Phoenix is different, though. So I actually grew up kind of in a desert. People don't really know that. But desert heat is different than humidity heat, like humid heat. And it's like, if it was 100 degrees where I grew up, it was 100 degrees. It was hot. But I will tell you right now that 90 degrees with humidity, I will take the 100 degrees with in the desert over 90 degrees with humidity, or even like high 80s. High 80s maybe. But then it was interesting. I went to St. Louis. It was even more humid. You go to Virginia, it's even more humid. Then you go to Florida. I did a workout in Florida when I was rehabbing for my knee at the Andrews Institute, which is actually in Gulf Breeze, but everyone says Pensacola because nobody's ever heard of Gulf Breeze. It's just right across the bridge. To this day, because I've been a part of a lot of hot summer workouts, hot two-a-days, and then you got pads on, you got a helmet, you got the old ice towel, they're dousing you, they're trying to keep you cool, they're trying to cool you off. It works for about 15 seconds, and then you feel like you're being baked alive. Experienced that a million times. Okay. The last workout I did, I got cleared after like 80,000 years of rehab, got cleared. It actually wasn't bad, dude. We moved down there. Like, it was a lot of rehab, it was a lot of workouts, but basically, I get up in the morning and I drive to the Andrews Institute. Pools on the right, Palm Beaches, ocean on the left. I'd go do a morning rehab session. Then I would come home for lunch. Then I'd go back. I'd do an afternoon rehab session, probably some sort of a workout session based on where I was at in my rehab, running, lifting, whatever it is that I could do. Obviously, the healthier I got, the more I could do, the more intense it became. I'd come home at night. Again, the ocean would just be on the opposite side, but you'd have pools and palm trees. I'd go hang out with the family at the pool, go to the beach that night. That was Monday through Friday. Basically rehab, working out, which can suck. I'm not going to lie. In of itself, it can absolutely suck and be painful. But then, I don't know. It was like I was having I don't want to say the time of my life, but I was in the proper mindset. I was enjoying things. And Saturday, we'd go down to Destin. They got Crab Island, spend the whole day there. And then usually Sunday, we would just like hibernate the whole day because we'd be exhausted. Then we do it again. We did that for like 4 or 5 months. We did it all the way from March until like late August, however many months that is. I was working my butt off, but it felt like I was on vacation the whole time, all at the same time. The last workout I did, I mean, it was like mid to late August. It's Florida. It's humid. It's hot. And where we run is on turf. Turf adds about 10 to 15 degrees. To this day, it is the hottest I have ever felt in my life. I wasn't in pads. It was a workout, not a practice. I was in pads, cut off shirt, shorts, all that good stuff. You take the shirt off after a while because, taking off 1/10 of a layer of clothing somehow makes the difference in your mind. I guess I was working on my tan, if I want to justify it. They had ice towels at both ends, not just one end, because normally you'll run down, then you run back, use the ice towel, you get one. They had it at both ends. Every time I'd run, I think it was 110 with parachutes on. Every time they would douse me with ice cold water. I would drink ice cold water or Gatorade as much as I could. I don't want to throw up because I'm in the middle of working out. It did not matter. Like, it did not matter. Nothing cooled me off. I've never felt like that in my entire life. So it kind of gives you, it's interesting because there's different kinds of heat. Some people like heat. Some people like cold. For me, anytime I got a schedule, especially in the NFL, I'd look for 2 things. Cold weather games, no, I'm cool with that. We can go to New York in December. We can go to Kansas City in November and January. I'm all good with that. Freezing cold doesn't bother me. Coldest game I have ever played in to this day in my life was the Big 12 championship game my senior year in Kansas City versus Oklahoma. We played against Texas in Lincoln. 4th quarter, it snowed that same year. But I would always look for hot weather games in Denver. I've got asthma. So that altitude would get me. Now, I never actually played in Denver. Of all 32 teams, I played against all 32 teams in the NFL except for the Broncos. For whatever reason, never played against them, home or away. But I'd always look for Denver because of the altitude and my asthma, and then hot weather games. Miami. Jacksonville never seemed to be as hot, even though it's Florida. Tampa, if it's early in the season, you're going down to Texas. As the season wears along, like if you're used to 10, 15 degrees, you go out to California, even though it's only 75 degrees, it feels like 90 because you're just not used to it. So those are the things I'd always look for. I don't know. I do I think I've talked about this before. I enjoy changes in weather. Like I enjoy when it's really cold and I enjoy when it's really hot, as long as it changes to something else. Literally the only thing I don't like, bad pun intended, the wind it blows. Okay, other than that, I just like changes in weather. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do. We have an absolutely loaded show. Nebraska is going to wear alternate uniforms, all black versus USC. What are our thoughts on alternate uniforms in general? Do we like the all black uniforms? I've spoken out on alternate uniforms, not a ton, sporadically over the years. Because once you voice your opinion, unless it changes, it tends to be the same opinion. I will say this. If we're going to wear alternate uniforms, I'm always going to be more partial to it if it's going to be blacks or black shirt oriented. That's going to help how I view it. Just going to be fully honest with my bias on that. I'm not a particular fan of alternate uniforms in general, but we'll get to that. Michigan finally is punished. Finally. Now, Michigan has been punished. We know what's going to happen to the Wolverines. And Dana Holgorsen, Donovan Raiola, Dylan Raiola, a couple other players will have a press conference probably around hour 2 of this show, and we'll be breaking that down. All right. Let's light this candle. Hour 1 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. Again, that's hamiltontel.com. Just a reminder, you're listening to the Adam Carriker Show, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Grab your lunch. Come join us. What you're going to get, unique insight, unbridled honesty, and Bad News Bach, that's officially your name, and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. We're going to talk Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. All right, Michigan. The hammer was brought down, or do you think it was? Jake, what is the punishment officially for Michigan? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Was the hammer brought down? Was it too light? What are your thoughts, my friend?
Yes,
and I want Bad News Bach on this, by the way.
Yeah, so Michigan does get a major fine and then an additional game for Coach Moore. That game will probably be served in 2026. Of course, either way was going to affect Nebraska unless they decided, hey, you're going to have to serve those games before the Nebraska game. They did not do that. So there's 3 games total for Coach Moore. They also levied an 8-year show cause penalty for Connor Stallions and a 10-year for Jim Harbaugh, which basically means you have to show cause of why it wouldn't, why you shouldn't be fined if you're going to hire one of them to coach in college. So basically those guys are out of the college circles for that measure of time.
So one quick question for those who may not know. So let's say it doesn't, I think Harbaugh is going to do well with the Chargers. Okay. But let's say it doesn't go well. He gets fired. He wants to come back to coach college football in 5 years. Like if, I'm just going to pick a school out of thin air. Let's say PJ Fleck doesn't row the boat so well in Minnesota. Minnesota wants to hire,
how dare you,
Khakis Jim, doesn't wash his hands after he goes to the bathroom at Big Ten Media Days. Harbaugh, they would have to pay a hefty fine in order to hire him or show why they shouldn't have to pay a hefty fine.
Right.
That's what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, as we look at it too, the exact number is not available, so we'll have to see, but a significant fine. Like we said, it includes 2 years of a postseason football revenue. So the size of the fine is expected to be considerable, although the amount will not be available. While there's variables in how much the team will get from football postseason revenue, sources expect that the number, based on past Big Ten revenue and projections, to be more than $20 million and perhaps even more than $25 million. So you're looking between probably $20 and $25 million fine.
So pause. Is that enough? Is that too much? I believe that is the heftiest fine that's ever been doled out in the history of college football, from what I understand. Do you agree with this? Disagree? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's interesting because, and part of it too is that they're trying to they're trying to punish the school, not the players on the team right now. So if you're thinking, well, why didn't they get a postseason ban? They've kind of moved to the model more of heavy, there's more money involved in the game now. So maybe you can hit the checkbooks a little bit more. So I can understand that. I always understood the argument of not, kind of hurting the current team. I don't know. I mean, I think this is fine. Remember, Jim Harbaugh already served 3 games for this during the championship season. So you're kind of talking about a total of 6 games for your head coach. Between 20 and 25 million. Sure. I mean, I think it's a good punishment, good enough to try to keep folks from doing it. But at the same time, would Michigan do it all over again? I don't think it's to the point where it's anything where it's like, yeah, and we'd give up our championship because of it. So kind of depends on how you look at it. I think it's big enough. Like I said, it's kind of like the steroids thing. You can cheat all you want and take as many steroids as you want. It doesn't mean you can hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. You still have to go out there and do it. Michigan did go out there and do it despite whatever advantages they may have had. So
I think there's a couple more things to it. I'll let you continue here in just a minute. I believe it's projected to be 10% of the football team's budget as part of the fine as well. But like you mentioned, $20 to $25 million, heftiest fine in college football history. I had an initial reaction of this was, well, it's not my money. I don't really care. How does that affect the team? But it affects the university, and it does affect the team because your budget that's basically 1 year's budget, if not more, if it's closer to $25 million, which affects the type of team you can put on the field because it affects your ability to acquire talent, which then affects, the university, hence the punishment. So that was my initial reaction. The other thing is it's always tough because you need to punish the guilty parties. It's almost impossible to do that without punishing the non-guilty parties. And it's really hard to do that. Like there is 4 years of probation. Okay. Let's see what else. Fine equivalent to the cost of 10% of all football scholarships, 25% reduction in football official visits, 14-week prohibition on recruiting commits. I think there's more on there. That's what I'm going to read for now. I'm fine with it. I didn't think that they would pull the national title from them or anything, because that was one of the things I was kind of curious to see, and I didn't think that they would. I mean, in their in their defense, what they did was obviously illegal. They obviously knew it wasn't right. It blatantly helped them, especially if you watch certain plays. You know, the Ohio State game the year before they won the national championship. Okay. The year they won it, all this came out before they beat Ohio State. All this came out before they beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. It all came out before they mollywopped Washington in the national championship game. So, because one of my thoughts was, man, would they have won the national title without this? Yeah, I think they would have. Now, would they have beaten Ohio State every single year that they beat them? Maybe, maybe not. There was a couple of years in there where Ohio State was the better team, but Michigan, like for 3.5 quarters. Now, part of that is Michigan was a more physical team, and that's going to show up in the fourth quarter. There are certain plays where you can see Ohio State's lined up and the whole entire Michigan sideline is like pointing, and then all of a sudden the entire team runs to the exact spot of the play. Like that is visible to see on some of the plays. So it absolutely had an effect on the outcome. I do think either way, Michigan probably would have won the national title that year. I felt even when they came in here and beat us in Lincoln, okay, very soundly on that particular day, I was like, man, I think that's the best team in the nation. Now, they hadn't won an outright national title since 1947. I'll repeat that again, since 1947. So I had to actually see it. But I was like, man, they're really, really good. So for me, the 20 to 25 million, I'm good with it, especially in today's college football where everyone is trying to find more ways to make a revenue. Some of these other things that have been levied and been weighed in, I'm good with it. The one thing, because you mentioned, is basically a 6-game head coach suspension, 3 for Harbaugh, 2 for Sharon Moore, plus the 1 more that they just levied today. I mean, I'll be honest with you. My first thought is you either need to add more or don't move it to 2026. Make it the Oklahoma game that they clearly want Sharon Moore at this year. That's what I would have done. 1 more? Just 1 more? Okay, it's going to be Oklahoma because you clearly want him there. And this needs to hit you where it hurts. All right. Are there any other punishments we haven't talked about? I know I kind of hopped in there, probably screwed up. You probably had a list you were going down and I messed it up. Is there anything we haven't talked about yet, punishment-wise?
No, you're right. I mean, so ultimately it could, cost, you're looking at 30 million, like you kind of said, the money that would be from the postseason would probably be around 25 million, then maybe 7 million, like you're kind of saying, from their salary cap, I suppose, or whatever you want to call it now that they have. The football budget is how they put it. One other thing to notice is that Denard Robinson, Shoelace, was hit with a 3-year show cause penalty as well in this for recruiting violations, including this because he didn't respond to the notice of allegation or attend the hearing. So that was part of it as well. But for the most part, that's the major penalties.
Really?
Yeah.
What years did he play at Michigan? Dude, I remember when he first burst on the scene. Was I with the Rams? I feel like that was like quite a while ago. I might have been with the Skins. I can't remember. Look up what years he was there. So they punished him for just not responding. Is that basically what it is?
I think so. I mean, that was part of it. The other, it says limited in inducements to a prospect and his family. So apparently some of that going on as well, but mostly not responding, which doesn't help. Trying to figure out when he was so he's a Michigan assistant director of player personnel from 2022 to 2024. So that was his coaching career.
Okay.
His playing career, would have been 2012, like 29 to 2012, I think.
Yeah,
2009 to 2012, I mean.
Because I'm like having flash. Okay, so weird. I don't know if your memory works like this, but I remember watching highlights of his games and Michigan games while I was in the St. Louis locker room, but then images flashed to me watching it in the Redskins locker room. I'm like, why am I remembering both? Because he was at Michigan while I was on both teams. And so that kind of makes sense. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I'll still never understand to this day how somebody can legit play a sport and run like that and not tie your shoes. That always blew my mind. Like how does that work? And if you looked at them, they were legit completely untied. It wasn't like they were flat out untied. Like how do you plant, cut? How do you not roll an ankle? You're talking to a guy who rolled his ankle about a dozen times, going all the way back to my first memories as a kid. Of course, if you just roll an ankle and you're fine 2 days later, I'm counting that, but I did that a lot. There's a person I know in my life who rolls their ankle like they might just be walking down the sidewalk and it'll give. There was one time they were supposed to bring me ice cream and they were really late and they get to the car And they're like, sorry, your ice cream went flying in the air. I rolled my ankle and fell on the ground. I'm like, did somebody run in? No, I'm just walking and fell. And I'm just like, oh, so you ruined my ice cream. Like I was like, where's my ice cream? I knew they were fine. I'm trying to think of anything else on the Michigan stuff. I do think like it would have meant more had they said you have to miss that Oklahoma game. That would have stood out to me even more. Do you think they should have taken the national championship from them? Do you think they should have like the death penalty like they did SMU back in the day? Like, did you think any of that was on the table?
No, I didn't think that was. It just didn't feel like that was heading that way. It did feel like they were going to do a significant punishment, which I think this can be categorized as. But I never thought it was going to get that far. Again, I'm just a little bit disappointed. I've been talking about it all, since they announced it that he gets to choose when his punishment is. That's really silly to me. So even, if it was me, if you want to do 3 games, whatever, I would have said 4. Right? You're going to sit out those 2. You're going to sit out the first 2. Most notably, like you said, to be able to pick to not miss the Oklahoma game. I don't know. I want to know if the TV partners, the conferences, like how many meetings are we having here to iron that out? Because that's not part of a punishment. You can't choose part of your punishment when you get to take it. I also don't like that he gets to sit this next one out in 2026. So, there are parts of it that I don't know. I don't know if it's not Michigan would if this happened at Bowling Green, does Bowling Green's coach get the same opportunity to pick and choose his punishment? Feels like they're still getting a little preferential treatment here.
That was exactly what I was going to bring up. Michigan is one of the top probably 5 brands in the nation, absolutely top 8 brands in the country. SMU got the death penalty. SMU is not one of those top brands, with all due respect. If this was SMU now or Michigan then, would they have both been handled a little bit differently? That was the next thing that was going to come out of my mouth. There's a business aspect to this. And I think you actually make a great point. I was like, okay, I'll accept the one more game, make it Oklahoma. No, it should be the first 2. Like, just make it the first 2 of the season. Is it disrespectful? We talked about this a little bit at the time. Is it disrespectful that they chose to not have Sharon Moore for a Nebraska game? Is it disrespectful to Nebraska? I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be. How is it not, though, at least a little bit?
I think it's almost unintentionally. I don't even know if Michigan means it all that disrespectful. They just want him there for the Oklahoma game. But if you're Nebraska, you have to. You have to view it that way because obviously they don't feel like – and remember, it's not just that he can't be there for the game. He can't be there at all in the practices during the week. Might need to keep an eye on those sidelines in the practice. The NCAA might want to have somebody there. But I find that as absolutely disrespectful. And again, I don't know if Michigan intends it completely, but maybe it's part of the way that they came in and beat Nebraska last time. Didn't have too much of a problem. Of course, 2 times ago, that was not the case. So I don't know how much of their thought process got into it. That baffles my mind more than anything, that you can pick when your punishment is. And then it just kind of feels like Nebraska, Michigan's looking down at Nebraska saying, well, yeah, we're not too worried about that.
Is there anything off the text line? I know we got to go to break, but is there anything off the text line real quick?
Earthquake Blue points out that Denard Robinson's shoes did have Velcro on them, so that kind of helped with it.
There was Velcro?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Well, that kind of helps. Yeah.
He had Velcro cleats?
He had Velcro, yeah. Instead of tying his shoe, he'd Velcro them, but keep the shoelaces untied.
Well, then that's kind of like, I got to see a picture of this. Maybe I knew it and I just forgot. I don't think of Denard Robinson all the time.
Well, like you're saying, if you do it with your shoes untied, they might fly off.
Well, that's what I always wondered. But if he had Velcro, maybe I knew that and I just forgot. That would make a little bit more sense. 'Cause I'm like, how in the world? Plus, he's like the fastest dude on the field. So how does that work? Velcro cleats. They got these slip-on shoes now. They're like legit. They're like pre-tied. You can just slip them right on. My kids use them all the time.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Is I need to get them because I'm infamous or not infamous or whatever word you want to use for leaving my shoes partially tied and then I just slip them on and off. So maybe I should just buy the slip-on shoes and make my life easier. Anything else?
Yeah. So just so people were somebody also asked, did Harbaugh served that 5-game suspension? Was that a different? Wasn't that for a different set of rules, recruiting violations? That was actually 2 of those were. So he set out a total of 5 games. The 3 games was for the sign stealing portion of it, and the other 2 games were for a separate one. So just kind of ironing that out. Yes, there have been plenty of cheating and serving suspensions at Michigan.
Wasn't there Cheeseburger Gate? I don't know if it was ever called.
That might have been what it was. Yeah.
How silly does Cheeseburger Gate sound now when we're just handing out, 6-7 figures to players? Yeah, actually, There should be an accumulation effect. Like, this is the third time they've had to penalize Michigan for something. Like, there should be an accumulation effect to this as well. All right, I do know that we got to get to break. I'm going to hold a thought. When we come back, I'll share that thought. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Chorizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Chorizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. M-Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M-Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Sean's Mobile DOT inspection reminds listeners as our troops return home, many are left unemployed and deserted. Over 1 million veterans across the United States are currently looking for jobs, despite having special skills and elite military training. Let's welcome our troops with open arms and make this year to hire smart and hire veterans. Sean's Mobile DOT inspection, serving our area with pride and integrity. For all your inspections, mobile truck repair, mobile truck services, and trailer repair, Sean's Mobile DOT inspection. USA all the way.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
MMA fighting is back this Saturday with summer season VFL 4 at the Complex. Lincoln's best amateur MMA fighters will display their best performances, with Misael Monares fighting Colin Fisher for the welterweight title to wrap up the night. Get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com, where you can live stream the event as well. Doors will open at 6 p.m. with the first bout at 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 16th, all at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2025 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 23rd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Several sources say SEC teams may not survive fall camp after the grueling task of playing against themselves every day. One assistant coach is calling it, and I quote, the most physically taxing 7-on-7s in the nation, end quote. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I saw that, and I'm just like, that's too good. I got to share that. All right. Along the lines of potentially disrespectful, honestly, I like what we're about to talk about. But a couple people have mentioned to me that some of the national pundits all offseason have hyped up Nebraska at least a little bit. Like post-spring, Nebraska was in a ton of preseason top 25s. Joel Klatt's post-spring top 25, a lot of these guys. Then the AP poll comes around and the coaches poll comes around, and we're 34th in one and 39th in the other. And now all of a sudden these preseason Joel Klatt, and Joel does a great job to be clear, but all of a sudden we're gone. We played 0 games between now and then. And so some folks are kind of like, it feels like people hop on us for clicks, but then there's a little bit of unintentional, maybe intentional disrespect where we shouldn't be, at least be top 30, top 35. I don't know. For me, I want to be overlooked. You know, all this, you know, we have a center who could potentially win the Remington and the possible Joe Moorhead offensive line award, you know, being good enough to win that. And, you know, this guy being this and this guy being that, leading the nation in punt returns. I love all that stuff. But I actually like flying under the radar because there's been too many times when there's been hype, there's been excitement, it doesn't quite match what happens on the actual field come the following fall. I'd rather be a little bit overlooked. I'd rather fly under the radar. If I'm being honest with you, I kind of equate it to myself. I always felt overlooked. I always felt kind of disrespected. I've talked about, you know, when I first got here, I had not a chip on my shoulder, but a whole forest. And I liked that. I liked coming out of nowhere and hitting somebody in the mouth and proving them wrong. And if there's a small group of people that believe in you, proving those people right. And I would actually prefer that for Nebraska this fall. Like, can we be talked about less? Can we be talked about not much? And can we just come out and hit people in the mouth and do it on the football field? And, you know, sometimes when my kids are playing sports, they tend to do well. But if sometimes there's a situation where maybe a coach is overlooking something, my response isn't, hey, go whine and complain to the coach. My response is go out, do such a good job that it's undeniable. They cannot overlook you. It is undeniable. They have to put you out in whatever it is you're trying to do. That's my response. And that's what I want Nebraska to be this year. Be undeniable. Do it on the field. By the way, if we start winning some football games, as soon as that happens, the national media is going to hop on, just like they did after the Colorado game until Indiana happened. Like, they're going to hop on because they know the reaction Nebraska fans will give. But I would prefer to fly under the radar. I would prefer to just come out, hit people in the mouth, and earn it on the football field. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine where they landed. You know, kind of in between 35 and 40 is actually a jump from where they finished last season, right? Maybe 20 spots, 25 spots. Obviously, the top 25, you don't go that far into what it would be like. But when you think about a 7-win team, that's about what you're looking at. So Yeah, I think it's a little bit of still of an expectation for Nebraska to rise up, of course, to get into the other receiving votes, to get to rise up to where they are now. They had to have several voters vote them in the top 25. So it's just kind of a difference of opinion, and not everybody was willing to buy in quite yet. And again, to that, I'd say fair enough. I mean, that's what I would do too. If you have, especially if you're an AP voter who's been burnt by Nebraska every time you believed him in for the last 8 years, I think that probably factors in a little bit as well. So I don't mind where it's at. I think it's still an elevation from last year, and I think that's probably fair with Dana Holgorsen and Dylan Raiola going into year 2, year 3 under Matt Rule. But then we kind of like to hide some of the other deals where there's obviously longstanding problems within the program about winning close games, and just to be quite honest, that the performance in the Pinstripe Bowl, good enough to get a win, probably not good enough to be a top 25 team. This kind of going in, so I think it's probably a fair place for them to start the season. And if you looked at it as overlooked or that way, I would just have to say it would be hard for me to get there, because what has Nebraska done to earn the preseason top 25 validation? Again, to some, that's how they kind of got into the others receiving votes. They put them in there, but I'm not going to be offended that if somebody doesn't have them.
It's kind of like Penn State. Like, in my opinion, Penn State has the best. It depends on how you define best roster. Like Ohio State has the best offensive and defensive players in America, Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, but they have their offensive coordinator is new. Their defensive coordinator is new. They got a whole bunch of other new pieces across the board as well. So you could argue pure talent. Maybe they've got more experience, accomplished players, coordinators. That actually goes to Penn State, including their defensive coordinator, who went over from Ohio State to Penn State. So it kind of depends on how you look at it. It's funny you talk about that Pinstripe Bowl, because I'm actually looking at the stats again. Like, I felt, especially in the first half of the game, like we were dominating the game. We were clearly the better team. Again, a block punt. I think it was a block PAT. Did they return that back for 2?
Yeah.
So literally a 3-point swing. We lost the turnover battle. Okay, and I remember that. We lost the penalty battle. Like, penalties, turnovers, special teams, those are things that can swing the momentum of a game in favor of the team that's not as good. Because we won 20-15. I honestly felt like we outplayed Boston College by at least 2 scores, yet it's a close 5-point game. So my point is, coming into this season, if we can be more disciplined in the turnover penalty department, and Eckler can just get our special teams to average, and as the season goes along, hopefully above average, maybe good at some point by the end of the year, I feel like there would be a lot of games we would have won in recent years. Again, more talented than Boston College, outplayed Boston College. Same thing with the Iowa game. Yet Boston College was really close. Iowa, unfortunately, went the wrong way. It's the little things have bitten Nebraska. Not necessarily, there's been some large things over the years as well, but not necessarily on a consistent basis. The large things, I'm going to come back to the biggest thing that's going to dictate whether Nebraska wins or loses. Wins 7, 8, 9, 10 games, it's going to be the fourth quarter. We're not built to just run your typical Big Ten team out of the stadium. We're built to win games, but there's going to be a lot of close games, and it's going to come down, honestly, to 2-minute situations on defense and what the quarterback, Dylan Raiola, does with the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter come clutch time on offense. Like, Dylan Raiola, like, he's going to, I don't want to use the L word, legacy. Like, he's got a couple of years left to play in college, 2 to 3, whatever the case may be. It's not all on this season, but this is a big season. This is that Matt Rule year 3 season. There's been a lot of confident talk this entire offseason. It's kind of one of those things. And you've even said, hey, maybe this is the year that Rule was really hired for, was year 3, 2025. This is maybe make or break. I don't know if it's make or break, but we need to see progression in the right direction. Because we don't. If we don't at least see at least 8 in that win column by the end of the year, that's when people are going to get itchy, antsy. I don't want to say impatient, because Husker fans have been incredibly patient over the years, but it's going to come down to certain situations. It's going to come down to 3rd and short. It's going to come down to goal line situations on offense and defense. The red zone, how do we handle basic things? All right, whether it be punt protection, whether it be field goal protection, whether it be covering on special teams and punting the ball the right direction and things of that nature, things that have cost us games over the years. It's going to be those little things. And those little things over time, and pretty quickly, to be honest with you, they add up to big things. Those inches that you fight for on every play, they add up to major yards by the end of the game, which is why you fight for every inch on every play. Because all of a sudden, that can add up big time as the game goes along. You got any other thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah, and I guess I just want to phrase a question to you, because in general, I think over the years, and especially under Scott Frost, I suppose, it just kind of kept going, those close losses. Is it something that once you win a few, you've learned to win and you can move that forward here in year 3 under Matt Rule? Because I think that's more of a possibility now than what it was maybe year 4, year under 5 under Frost, where it's like, okay, if they win one, it almost might be by chance because they just aren't winning enough of them. But as Matt Rule is building the program, and as they adding more wins year by year, hopefully, obviously in this 3rd year, I think there would be a more of a, okay, yeah, they are taking those steps to win one, not necessarily just, okay, it's finally swinging in their way.
It's an inner belief that leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're used to winning, you're going to believe that you're going to win, and there is something to a self-fulfilling prophecy. That does have an impact. And if you haven't won and you haven't had success versus ranked teams versus a particular team, a la Ohio State, Michigan, okay, you can't tell me there wasn't a little bit of, oh, here we go again in that 4th quarter in Columbus last November, which probably impacted Michigan actually winning that game when Ohio State was clearly the actual better team, had the home field advantage and everything else. You get a couple of those wins, you're like, all right, I've done this before. We've been here. And it's a little bit of that self-fulfilling prophecy. If you struggle in certain situations against really good teams or against a particular team, that becomes an inner belief. Like, I'm kind of used to this. This is what's going to happen. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's one of those things where we were 2-4 last year in 1-score games. I mean, you at least want to be 4-2. But with the struggles we've had, I guess that's a step in the right direction. But I think there's going to be at least 6 1-score games this year. And we have to be definitely better than 500 in those situations, especially against teams that we should beat. All right. I thought this was interesting. Is there anything off the text line real quick?
Just a lot of people kind of saying that Nebraska should not be in the top 25. I got like 4 straight texts kind of agreeing with us that that would not be earned as of yet.
All right. So Isaiah Williams, 4-star blue chip linebacker. You want to hear about his recruitment journey so far?
Yeah.
November 2023 commits to Louisville. January 2024 decommits. April 2024 commits to Syracuse. August 2024 decommits. September 2024 commits to Florida State. November 2024 decommits. March 2025 commits to Florida. May 2025 flips to Ole Miss. Today, flips to Florida State and has shut down his recruitment.
Good.
So I'm not even slamming the kid. I'm just like, what in the world is going on? If you're a Florida State fan, do you feel good about him being a rock solid commit at this point?
Absolutely not. And even less about him staying for 4 years.
Oh, that's a good point. All right. Oh, we were supposed to get to Dayton Raiola. We'll do it. So he had a big game last night, national televised game on ESPN. So he plays for Buford High School, as most people know. $62.2 million football facility they just built at Buford, by the way. Had a big-time game last night. All right, when we come back, we'll chat about Dayton's performance. We will get into alternate uniforms, our thoughts on them versus USC, and reaction to some press conference information from Holgorsen and Raiola. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards. Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria, tacos, and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
MMA fighting is back this Saturday with summer season VFL 4 at the Complex. Lincoln's best amateur MMA fighters will display their best performances, with Misael Monarez fighting Colin Fisher for the welterweight title to wrap up the night. Get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com, where you can live stream the event as well. Doors will open at 6 p.m. with the first bout at 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 16th, all at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
The trip of the summer is coming. Collective Soul. Live. Summer Unity Tour 2025, August 21st, Pinewood Bowl Theater in Lincoln's Pioneers Park with Our Lady Peace. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Collective Soul, live, Our Lady Peace, together.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. I hate this mic. All right, welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show. We're going to chat a little bit of Dayton Raiola. All right. Last night, led Buford High School. Again, they spent $62.2 million on their new football facility. Now, they avenged their loss that they had last year to Milton High School, who was the Georgia State champions in football, so they avenged that loss. He played, pretty well under the lights on a national stage, so to speak. A lot of times there can be a lot of pressure with that. We honestly had a little bit of a hard time tracking down the stats. Your deep Google dive, easy for me to say, my deep Google dive, been a little bit challenging, but we think he had around 200 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 INT, but he did complete a 42-yard pass late to help seal the game. Seemed to manage the offense and operate the offense really well versus a very good defense. And at one point ended up being a PI call, but it was intriguing to me because he threw a 60-yard ball in the air, from around their 5-yard line. It ended up on the opponent's opposite side of the 50-yard line, easy for me to say, on the opposite side of the field. And it was about 60 yards in the air, so it showed a little bit of arm strength, which is a little bit harder to do, as you might imagine, with pads in the middle of a game than it is just standing there like some guys will do in the offseason. So I thought there were some positive things to take away from Dayton's performance. What are your thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah. So the stats that I did run down, and I think they're close, if not to correct, is 13 of 19 for 159 yards and an interception. Like you said, most importantly, the team did get the win, and it was a big win over a team with a 25-game winning streak. So that's a big deal. Might not have the flash of stats, and obviously, if it were up to him on ESPN, he would have thrown for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. But it was the opening to the big stadium there, and had some solid moments. So I think it was a good look. Obviously, brought more attention. It's what's fun about these high school games before we get into the college football season. College football fans, running football fans in general, are just tuning in to see what's kind of going on. Obviously, with the Raiola name, probably brought some attention there. But yeah, this was a 20-13 game. So if you can imagine, the defense led the way. They had like 3 picks, 16, I think, combined, flags throughout it. So it's week 1. That kind of happens in college football, the NFL. Everybody's, you're a little bit more messy in week 1 than you are in midseason form, especially in high school. So maybe not a mid-year type of product, but still a good showing, I thought, for Dayton. And obviously, again, you get to do it on national TV. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a high-pressure situation. Defending state champs, beat you the year before, 25-game winning streak, ESPN, $62 million, $2 million facility, lots of pressure. Like, that's a situation, especially first game of the year, where a quarterback can go in who's a very good quarterback, and they can really struggle. Because the defense is always going to be ahead of the offense, especially earlier in the year. It's easier to get caught back up to normal speed on defense than it is offense, because there's so much timing that goes into offense, where defense is so much more reactionary. So not exactly a shootout, not the prettiest game you've ever seen, but it's pretty much exactly what I would expect game 1 of 2 high school teams. Again, they play this again in the middle of the season, probably a lot cleaner, less turnovers, less penalties. From Dayton, not a bunch of gaudy stats, but in the key moments, he made the key plays. And he did it in about as high pressure a situation as he's probably going to play in. They play a lot of good teams down there in Buford, but until the playoffs roll around, when maybe they play this Milton team all over again, and we'll see what happens. As far in a situation like this, especially game one of the year, this is why when I look ahead to Cincinnati versus Nebraska, game one, Nebraska should win. Nebraska should win by double digits, but expect some ugly football. Why? Because it's game one. Your biggest improvements are always between game one and game two. Well, 99% of the time. So that's the only thing that really makes me nervous. Plus, we don't entirely know what to expect from either team because there's so much new on both teams. Nebraska should win. We are favored by about a touchdown last time I looked, but you never know what's going to happen. When it comes back to Dayton, again, not the most gaudy numbers, but it's like, hey, man, this is about as high pressure a situation as you're going to see in high school. How can you handle that? Because that's going to tell me how you might equate and or handle a similar situation once you're in college. And that's really what I was looking for more than anything. All right, you got any final thoughts before we hit the break?
Well, of course, it's going to continue to be interesting to see, if he can blossom, do better this year, and maybe rally up a few more offers, right? Not that Nebraska would feel scared about it or anything, but it is a little bit. Listen, his offers again still in 24/7. Charlotte, App State, Nebraska. And of course, there's that Jet to Mullet comparison that's always going to be there. So I'm interested. Just think, that's always going to be something that's going to be fun and interesting to follow along.
How dare you? Bad news box strikes again.
There you go.
Nah, it's all good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show. We're going to react to Holgorsen, Raiola, press conferences. Also, Nebraska's going to be wearing basically all black alternate uniforms versus USC. What are our thoughts on this? Let's do this. What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Give us your preemptive thoughts. Shoot us those texts. Let us know when we come back. We shall discuss further. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks. And grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Lamborghini was originally a tractor company. Samsung was a grocery store. LG was a facial cream, and IKEA was a pen. What's the lesson? Your current situation doesn't have to be your last. Stay strong, keep testing, getting 1% better, and remember, the great things often start from humble beginnings. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to discuss alternate uniforms. We have the highlights from Raiola's HOLGORSEN's press conference, working on the ones from Raiola's press conference and the like. All right, it is the noon hour, and that means lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show here on The Ticket is sponsored by our friends at Mulberry Barbecue with 2 numero dos locations at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try the burn-in sandwich, brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off Highway 2. One more note. We'll have 1 monthly remote at Mulberry Barbecue's South location, and our next one will be here in the near future. All right, Jake, what's been the feedback so far on the alternate uniforms? Like, I'm looking for 2 parts to this. Number one, how do we feel about alternate uniforms in general? And then these specific alternate uniforms. What feedback have we gotten here on the text line?
Yeah, OG Les Lancaster says, I don't doubt the All Blacks will look good, but it seems like anytime recruits come and visit, they like the All Reds. Eric says, don't care what the jerseys they wear. Hell, send them out in pink. Tutus for all I care, just win. Similar thought here. From Adam says, I don't care if they play that game in polka dot jerseys and boots as long as they win. And 1508 says, most important thing for the USC game is hopefully it's cold and windy.
Ooh, I like that. Cold, and colder. Welcome them Southern California boys to good old Lincoln, Nebraska in November. Let's make it nice and Eskimo cold. Like a fart in a skillet. Does that work? Does that make sense? Though?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I just wanted to say fart in a skillet. I like that saying. So alternate uniforms, I've said this 2 or 3 times over the past decade. Every couple of years, I'll express it again. So for me, alternate uniforms are fine. I almost liken it, though, like if you're one of the cool kids at school, you don't follow the trend, you set it. So to me, I look at like a Texas, an Alabama, a Michigan, Ohio State, and sometimes, Notre Dame's got those green jerseys, but that's almost iconic. They just don't wear them very often. So I wouldn't even know that that's an alternate uniform for them because that's something they've done for years. They bust it out every so often. So that's a part of their tradition. I almost liken alternate uniforms, and this may be an unpopular take, and I'm fine with that, to trying to be like the other cool kids at school. When you are the leader, you don't have to change who you are because you are the leader. You are, quote unquote, the cool kid at school or whatever, which is why you don't see a whole lot of, like the Blue Bloods we talked about yesterday. You don't see a whole lot of alternate uniforms with them. Exceptions would be like Oregon. When you're given green and yellow, which is literally throw up colors, I don't know what else you're supposed to do with it. They took throw up colors and they made a million different ways to have actually some pretty cool alternate uniforms, and their alternate uniforms is their identity. So to me, that's an outlier. Maryland's got kind of the NASCAR thing going on from time to time. They look like a NASCAR uniform to me sometimes. I don't know if that's ever really caught on. So for me, that's kind of how I view alternate uniforms in general. You look around at the well-known college football teams and blue blood brands and the big brands, they don't tend to change a lot because you don't follow everyone else, they follow you. And that's my take. Now, do I hate alternate uniforms? No, I don't hate them. Am I a fan of them? Not necessarily. I'm looking at these right. Like I don't have a gigantic dog in this fight. This is just my opinion on this. It's something that came out this morning, a little bit of a hot topic. Okay. Like this is not a ginormous deal to me. But since it just came out, thought I'd offer my opinion. It'd been a couple years, so here we go. All right, I prefer to stick true to what we've done traditionally. I know things evolve and change over time. I completely understand and respect that. But I always liken it to leaders lead, followers follow. And the alternate uniform thing to me is kind of like following a little bit to a degree. Now, the texter said it the best. At the end of the day, I mean, I would never send them out in pink. But if you go out in pink and you win, nobody's really going to care. Go out and beat USC. This is a team that in their own right's a little feels disrespected by the preseason polls. They're not even top 30. And you got guys like Josh Pate who think they're top 15 when it comes to their talent and Lincoln Riley, and hopefully they can just keep getting better on defense. So go out and beat an iconic brand and a really talented team and an offensive-minded coach and Lincoln Riley. Get a big win in November. The games to remember are played in November. That's also starting now with the college football playoff to bleed over into December a little bit. Get the win. That's all that really matters. This is my opinion. It's not something it's not some hill I'm going to stand on and fight and die for. I will say this. I look at the uniforms they've got. They're basically all black. Okay, the helmet has a black stripe down the middle with a black end on the side. If you're going to get me on board with an alternate uniform, make it as black shirts oriented as possible, and I'm way more likely to buy in. That is just my bias running wild, and I'll be open and honest about that. I liked what Nebraska looked like growing up. Things do evolve and change. For me, that's still some of my favorite uniforms was what I watched growing up, and that's what I personally prefer. Not a gigantic deal to me, just my preference, but I do like anything that's black shirts related or seems to be black shirt oriented. So I'm a little bit partial to these particular alternate uniforms. What do the texters say? What say you, Jake?
Yeah, just a few more thoughts from the text line. Scott in Minnesota says, I think the blackout game is a great idea. The uniforms are mess, so not as excited for it. If you haven't seen the uniforms, they're basically Nebraska's normal uniforms, just blacked out. So there's nothing, crazy change. I don't even see anything necessarily black shirt related this time. It's just a black in.
Which makes it black shirt related. I'm just saying.
I mean, altogether it's black. I'm just saying the black shirt logo.
All I see is black shirts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We've had the alternates with black shirt logos before. I'm just saying. And Old Dad 34, why do we need an alternate uniform? Make that make sense. They didn't do it last year, obviously. So there's that. Scott in Minnesota says pink. Pink out would be, would be a good, for cancer, breast cancer awareness. That's usually in February, I believe. So
October.
October, is that okay?
October.
So
because I would wear pink stuff in October in the league.
Okay, yeah, so that would be an idea there. As far as me, it's funny because there's so many different angles for a different uniform that come to my head. First of all, huge Halloween fan. My favorite holiday of the year. This is obviously the day after Halloween. I think that all is part of the idea with the blackout. I think it's not only going to be people in the stands with black on, but also a lot of Halloween costumes. So I think that will make for an interesting environment for USC to walk into. The black shirt tradition, like you said, kind of an ode there. But then there's, again, different angles here. Adidas, over the years, they've tried too much, people would say. They have a bunch of ugly uniforms. Well, here they did not a whole lot. They just changed the colors to all black, and there you go. So I don't think it's something that people can debate about too much. But the biggest thing to me is, for years and years and years, after about, I think it was 2014, the UCLA game, they kind of seemed to schedule these alternate uniform games for games they perceived to be W's. And so I think that's interesting that this year they decided to take full on, go against USC with the black shirt tradition standing out going into that game. And notably, obviously, USC is one of the better offenses Nebraska's going to play this year. So they did not duck the competition with alternate uniforms this year. They're going into it with one of their toughest offenses coming in, highlighting the defense. And again, like I said, the Halloween party portion of it's going to be fun too.
You make several good points. I would say probably there's about 3 offenses we're going to face this year that I consider to be really good offenses. We're not going to face a ton. You never know who's going to pop up and surprise you, that being said as well. But I think the 2 best or most talented is USC Penn State. So I love that there's actually a black shirt angle to taking them on. Now, is the game a blackout game?
Yeah, they're calling for a blackout as well.
I was not aware of that. That actually, I'm not going to lie, that changes how I view it. Because if you're going to have a uniform that matches what you're doing with the fans, I like that exponentially more. In my mind, it was just, I don't want to say just. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Nebraska wearing alternate uniforms, okay, in general. But if it was just an alternate uniform game, I'm like, okay, whatever. Just win the game, and I'm not going to say a whole ton of it. There's not a hill I'm going to die on. I have my opinion, but it's not a big deal to me. But if you're kind of doing a blackout thing, and everyone in the stadium's wearing black, and then your team's wearing black, and they're known for offense, the defense is called the black shirts. Dude, when Hell's Bells rings at the beginning of the game, can you imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like?
Well, keep in mind the sidelines now are black, so the opposing team's going to be stepping in there.
I am much more on board with this now that I know it's a blackout game. Yeah. I was on board before because I want to support the team. Like, I actually really like this now. Now that I know it's a blackout game, hopefully if it's a night game following Halloween, I thought that was a phenomenal point. I did not look at the date of the game. I just knew it was first game in November. I actually really like this now. I don't want to say I've completely flipped because I wasn't completely against it, but I have flipped. And I'm actually very much looking forward to this. Black uniforms, black game, a blackout game. I hope it's at night following Halloween. I want to see some crazy Halloween uniforms. I actually really, really like this now. And I think one of the things that I do like about these specific uniforms, other than it makes me think black shirts, I know there's nothing specific black shirt on it, but it makes me think black shirts.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that it is basic. Here's what you'll find about me. Like, when it comes to uniforms, some of my favorite uniforms are some of the most basic uniforms you'll find. I like Penn State, nothing on the helmet. You look at, like, Nebraska was not overly fancy over the years, okay, especially when I was growing up. I tend to like things where it's fairly basic, but parts of it are outlined and tend to stick out to you. Like the Washington Huskies, that gold helmet with the purple W and then the white around it. There's nothing crazy about that, but it just pops. I actually like Notre Dame's uniforms. Again, 2 of the helmets I've mentioned don't even have anything on the helmet. Okay? I'm going to say this next thing, and then I'm going to deny I ever said it because nobody's listening. I actually don't hate, other than the burnt orange, just the all-white Texas uniform. Again, basic, iconic. Those are the things that I actually like. Now, I didn't say that. You will delete the recording of this forever, and that never happened. Now, there's one outlier to this. I've always kind of liked the Florida Gators, which is not basic. And there's a ton that goes into their multicolored uniforms. That's the one outlier to me. I respect what Oregon's done with their uniforms. It's never really been my thing. They've turned it into their thing, and a lot of people love it, and that's why I brought them up earlier. Florida Gators has kind of always been the outlier to me. I've always, for some reason, liked that. The cursive Gators on the side of their helmet or whatever has always kind of stuck out to me. All right. Anything else from the text line there? I'm actually like, I love the post Halloween, which was a great point by you. I love that it's a blackout game. We don't know the time of the game yet, do we?
No, we do not.
I hope it's at night. Dude, if it's at night, not just for the cold weather, just this would be like Penn State has their whiteout games at night. Like this could be our blackout game. Like I love this now, actually.
Well,
okay.
they've tried these blackouts before, and they haven't always been perfect, I suppose. Not everybody is aware of it, so it's kind of half red, half black. So hopefully we can get Husker Nation on board. Scott in Minnesota points out that people have a lot of black winter gear. So if it's closest, to November, whereas if you did it in September, which I think they've done blackouts before, maybe you'll get more of a response there. So we'll see. Waverly Jim says the same thing, completely pointless if it's not a night game. And Kabari Joseph had a pretty good point on YouTube that to me says, man, boring and unoriginal. That's not necessarily the part I like, but he says looks like exactly like the ones Iowa State wears. Iowa State has somewhat ruined the blackout uniforms because they wear them all the time.
Yeah.
They're not their school colors, but they think that's their best look.
It really doesn't make any sense when they wear them, by the way. And they overuse them. And basically, if you're trying to mimic anything Nebraska does, I just think it's awful and terrible. I'm just going to put that out there. All right. We have got some press conferences to react to. I will say this, if the defense is playing well leading up to that game, it will add to the excitement for that particular blackout type game. All right, Dana Holgorsen, press conference. Here are some of the things he talked about. Hammers the routine plays over and over. They lead to big plays. If you're really good at what you do, it's like what I had mentioned earlier. Inches add up to gigantic yards over the course of a game and over the course of a season, especially if you're really good at what you do and you can do it really, really well. It becomes hard to defend. Defenses have to adjust, and then they become, first of all, you can get big plays from them if you're really, really good at it. But then they're going to have to, I don't want to say overcompensate, but they're going to have to adjust to defend it, and that leaves them vulnerable in other areas. All right. Says he knows what Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney, and Isaiah can do. Freshmen are progressing at the wide receiver position. Ja'Cory Barney is one of the, first of all, he was rated the number 2 true freshman in the entire country last year, grading out wise when it came to Pro Football Focus. Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State was number 1, so that's really good company. Vincent Shavers was actually, if you remember this, rated, according to Pro Football Focus and their grading system, the number 1 true freshman linebacker in the entire country a year ago. Obviously, people have high expectations for him. He started 2 games a year ago and looked really good in the bowl game as well. All right, I'm curious to see what freshman wide receivers can step up. A lot of people, including me, are going to have eyes on Cortez Mills. Talks about Dylan's leadership is astonishing. The play is great. He is making throws Dana has never seen before. Dylan's out-of-pocket play has improved greatly. So it's been a lot of heavy praise when it comes to Dylan Raiola this offseason. This is a guy who's insanely talented. They talk about how smart he is, how hard he works. I've talked about what my expectations are for him this season. Not even my expectations, because more my goals. Again, some sort of all-conference honors. I've said anywhere from first, second, third team to honorable mention would be a good improvement from a year ago. I feel like DJ Lagway, who was a freshman a year ago, Julian Sain, obviously he's with Ohio State, who was the number 1 quarterback in Dylan's class by the time the final rankings came out. They're all getting talked about a lot more than Dylan nationally, which is, again, I want to fly under the radar, and then I want to just go play good football on the field, and hopefully we're so good that it's undeniable as far as being a ranked team anyways. When you hear this positivity from Holgorsen, from Rule, when it comes to Dylan, what's your reaction? What are your thoughts? What do you think are fair expectations for him this season?
Yeah, I mean, you love to see it again. He's taking on kind of more that leadership role. I love especially the talk there, the talk about sustainable drives and those kind of basic plays, because, we all fall in love with the highlight plays, the scrambling around and sidearming and all that sort of stuff. But, those are you hopefully don't have to go to that too often. And maybe it's good for 1 or 2 extra plays a game, maybe can extend some drives or whatever. But the basic sustainable stuff is what's going to overall win games, as you were pointing to. And so, I mean, again, it's fun to talk expectations because, from the minute he stepped on campus, he had the world expected of him. I thought you did a good job of kind of tempering those expectations, especially for our freshman season. And so I'm kind of in the same path of you are, where it's take that step up, continue that progress to where when you're an upperclassman, you are expected to be among the nation's elite. And so you have to be kind of getting into that conversation this season and throughout it. So that's what I hope by end of the season. Doesn't necessarily have to be right away, but by end of the season, if he's, kind of a top 15, 20 quarterback in the nation, that'll put him in pretty good position with some of the guys outgoing to be a top 10 quarterback going into next year. And then again, of course, if you improve from there, you're in the discussion for all the awards and bringing your team up. So that's kind of my expectations, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see how crowds react to him. We know that was kind of got to a talking point at times last year. If he struggles a little bit, how is the reaction going to be? As from the coaches, from his teammates, I think all that's going to be good. Clearly, they've kind of put him at the front of the program. But then you think about those games where you might especially struggle. You think about Adrian Martinez throwing 4 picks against Purdue and not getting benched. Would you have a similar situation with Raiola? Hopefully we don't have to see that, right? And I don't necessarily think we will. But you just got to be prepared a little bit in case you do run into the unexpected.
So when you think about Dylan, and I've said it before, he's going to be defined by fourth quarter play. Nebraska's season is going to be defined by fourth quarter play. Nebraska, I really believe, is going to have a lot of one-score games. The first 3 games, I hope not a one of them is a one-score game, and I hope they're obviously all in our favor. Those last 9 games, there could be a lot of one-score games in there. And how we do will be determined on fourth quarter play. If Dylan, let's say, he's honorable mention all Big Ten. So that kind of means he's what, the 4th best quarterback in the Big Ten, so to speak? So there's going to be 4 quarterbacks out of the SEC. First, second, third team honorable mention. So that's 8. Well, those are by far the 2 best conferences in America. So let's say the Big 12, the ACC, they have 5 quarterbacks that are in the conversation with the quarterbacks from the Big 10 and SEC. And considering the Big 10 and SEC have the best football, I think, maybe 5 combined from the other 2 that are on that level of play would put you at 13. And maybe in the G5 ranks, there's 2 more. So what I'm getting at is if he's just honorable mention all Big 10, he's probably one of the top 15 quarterbacks in America. Is that, am I being too generous with that, or is that reasonable?
I think that's fairly reasonable. Obviously, that can change, dynamics here at times. Big Ten doesn't always have the best quarterbacks, quarterbacking performance, and we'll see this year. It's really up in the air because there's a lot of new guys, the guys coming with high expectations, but not a whole lot of proof.
I think sometimes that's based on there's better defense played in the Big Ten. Run game is more oriented because of cold weather as well. I mean, you look at the Big 12, it's the most entertaining conference to watch because their parity is so good. The offenses are so good and the defenses aren't great, maybe outside of Kansas State. So that kind of helps, skew it a little bit. But let's say
are you saying Ethan Kaliak-Manis would light up the Big 12?
Heisman.
Love to hear it.
He'd win the Heisman. You know how often I had to practice trying to say his name just to get it right that year we played Minnesota? All right. Let's say he's a top 20 quarterback. Let's be conservative. 15 to 20. So 17 in the country. I'm telling you, a lot of Nebraska's direct success is going to be connected to how he plays in the fourth quarter. We're going to be a quarterback-driven offense, okay? And if he's a 17th best quarterback in the country, we're probably a top 25 team in the country in that 8, 9, maybe more, 10 win range, somewhere in there. And so that's kind of why I come back to that. I also feel like it's very realistic. All right. Well, we got to go to break. We got more from, let's see, Holgorsen's press conference, Donovan Raiola's press conference. Okay, and there's going to be a couple players as well. So when we come back, by the way, Quentin Ives is back on the practice field. Okay, so that's a good thing to see. And he even mentioned, Holgorsen did, all right, that, let me see, they've been running a lot more 2-back sets. And when he praised Mekhi Nelson last week, I think he was a little concerned, maybe that go to his head, but he said Mekhi's continued to practice well. They're running 2-back sets as well. We will come back and finish our reaction to Holgorsen's press conference. We kind of glossed over Dylan Raiola. Let's see. His out-of-pocket play has greatly improved. To me, the deep ball accuracy, the reads, and the feet were the top 3 things. His out-of-pocket play really wasn't, it probably would have been 4th on my list when I listed the things back in January he needs to improve on the offseason. That excites me, but I think with him, it's just being more decisive once he's out there. If I can run and get 8 yards, take it and slide. Okay, unless I need 9, then run the guy over, you know, on a third down situation. If a guy's open, hit him in the flats. I felt like it was a little bit of indecisiveness at times. Just be more decisive. And he actually runs better than people think. Early on in the season, he took off a couple times. He moves better than you think. I'm not saying he shoelaces. Okay, Denard Robinson, shoelace. But I'm saying he runs better than people think. There's times he just needs to be more decisive. And if he does that, it'll look faster, he'll play faster, and his out-of-pocket play will be exponentially better, honestly, just with doing that. Now, being more decisive and doing it quicker isn't that takes time and experience. But when we come back, we'll get more into Dana Holgorsen's press conference, Raiola's press conference, and the like. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
The trip of the summer is coming. Collective Soul. Live. Summer Unity Tour 2025. August 21st. Pinewood Bowl Theater in Lincoln's Pioneers Park with Our Lady Peace. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Collective Soul. Live. Our Lady Peace. Together.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to a good partner and friend of the show. All right, Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. That's Suizo Construction. Again, SCHWISOW.com. All right, we got all sorts of people to listen to the show. Kenny Wilhite shot me a text yesterday throughout the show. Vershawn Jackson just sent a message in that Nebraska's 0-4 when they wear black-type uniforms. All right. Jake, does that change? Because I started to get a little bit excited about the black uniforms and a blackout day after Halloween. Hopefully it's a night game against USC. Hopefully the defense is playing well. Does that change how you view it at all?
Not necessarily. Rashawn also said only black shirts should wear black jerseys and only in practice. So obviously some kind of different opinions.
Such an offensive guy. Such an offensive thing to say. Honestly, I agree with him. But I do like the idea of the blackout game. I just do.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the blackout game. And honestly, the first time Nebraska ever wore like an all-black uniform, I don't even remember when it was. It would have been probably over a decade ago. I was kind of like, I actually did not like the offensive guys wearing it. That was like, I loved it for defense, but I'm like, the offensive guys should have a different color on. Like, I know that doesn't make sense, but that's just how I feel, dadgummit. So I don't completely disagree with Rashawn there. All right, anything else before we get back to the press conference reaction?
Not necessarily, although I probably pitched this idea to you before, but what would you think about, have you remember the Georgia bones they used to put, little helmet stickers?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with just black shirt bones, just bones on only for the defense, helmet stickers?
So in general, I like Ohio State does something like that. My high school did something like that. In general, I like it. For Nebraska, no. You know why? Because we haven't done that historically.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to change who we are. We just need to start winning football games. There. I don't have anything else to add. Point blank. How's that, Jake?
That's fair enough.
Winning more football games. Okay, to be clear. All right. Holgorsen said TJ Lateef and Jalen Grobstad are taking equal reps. Thoughts on that? Because the backup quarterback job is not something we've talked about, frankly, since probably February. We did a whole show on it one day, I remember. Jalen is like another coach on the field. Dylan specifically recruited him to come back at the end of last year, November, December. Clearly, they want him on the field. I tell you what, anytime I've ever watched film or I've watched TJ at practice, the dude's impressive. Like he just is. Would you err towards the younger guy to get him experience for the future and down the road? Or would you err towards the older guy knowing he's got a little bit more experience and maybe initially he might play better under pressure just because he's been there before? If it's close, I mean, if it's close.
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, like you said, I mean, it would be kind of Gramstad's first real competition at this level. So I think it would be different if you got like Riker Fife back there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's been through these games before, had to start or whatever. And as compared to Gramstad, but you can't get the experience till it's presented to you.
Yep.
But all that being said, if it's close, I think you play the younger guy. Although today's age, it's so weird. Like, would the younger guy, does that make him happier? Does that give him film that he can send out when he, so that's really tough. But I think at that point, and I think part of it might depend too on what's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Is your quarterback out for 4 games? Then maybe go with the younger guy. If you need a drive or two, maybe go with the veteran.
I think I've talked about this before. I will never forget Harrison Beck, throw god, Have you seen those videos online? He hasn't put any out for a couple years. Good Lord. I digress. Okay. Harrison Beck was a true freshman. I want to say it was a Kansas State game. I think Zach went down, and they put in Harrison Beck and burned his red shirt for one game. And remember, we played K-State like late in the year. We're talking October, maybe November at that point.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, we're going to burn a red shirt for this. I personally did not think he was that great. He's a bit of an odd duck. All right. So maybe that influenced my opinion of his football skills. And we won the game. So it's kind of like I talked about burning Zach Potter's red shirt for him to be on the field goal block team. And then he blocked 2 straight field goals against Pittsburgh and we won 7-6. So what the heck do I know about making decisions on red shirts? All right. Holgorsen said Ja'Cory Barney has had his best week of practice since Dana has gotten here. Tank Dell has rubbed off on Ja'Cory. All right, he's talked about ball being secured, assignment, and alignment, which if you're a football guy, you've heard the term assignment and alignment about 4 billion times in your life, is what he's looking for from the running backs down the depth chart. In other words, there's a lot of young guys there. I'm just going to be blunt. Can you not make the big screw up? Like, there's talented guys on this team, but when you're young, coaches tend to play guys they trust to do the right thing, sometimes over guys who can make the big play, because if you make the big play in the wrong direction, that affects your team in a drastic way. Like if you have a big turnover or a big bust in protection or something like that. Right now, he's like, we got talented young guys, but who's going to step up and who's going to do the little things so we don't have a big breakdown? Because that can cause as big a problem as anything sometimes too. Says we have at least 8 solid guys on the O-line, and they're all playing well together as a unit. All right, Donovan Raiola, here's our reaction to his press conference. The unit overall, the offensive line, is the best it has been. He has been around since he's been here, which I think most of us anticipate. I don't think that's a surprise to any of us. The tackle jobs are both open still. Gunnar Gatula, Elijah Pritchett. Maybe Gunnar slides over or Elijah slides over if one of them's going to win the left tackle job. We do know that Tyler Canuck and Teddy Prohaska and Turner Corcoran are all battling at one of the tackle spots. Seems like the right tackle spot as well. All right. He did say might be a game day decision on starters, because you get the impression like they're splitting hairs as to who's the better player right now. And maybe, I don't want to say it's almost weird to say if an offensive tackle gets hot, but if he's playing really, really well, he's lathered up and he's going and he's playing well, he might stay in. Versus a guy, maybe he struggles the first drive or two and you sub another guy in a little bit quicker. Or maybe you've got a rotation and you're trying. This might be a thing that we figure it out as the season goes along if it's that close, especially when you got guys coming back from injury. They might play and look better the middle of the year than they do in the beginning of the year. Okay, there's a difference between being cleared and feeling good, a drastic difference. And time is the only thing that can actually help you feel good. All right, it says Dylan is very cerebral. Going back to the offensive line, Turner Corcoran has attacked his recovery, and it says a lot about him. Has offensive linemen that play multiple spots in practice. Feels good if Henry Latufsky has to move to left tackle or right tackle. It's interesting to me that he would talk about him moving to left or right tackle when I just named 5 guys battling for the tackle spot. Does that maybe indicate, I don't know, does that maybe indicate nobody has stood out just yet at the tackle spot beyond just it being a competition? Or maybe he's like, the backup guard came in. He's like, Henry, just take a couple at right tackle. Let's just see how you look in case we have to throw you out there at some point. How do you take that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd be interested to kind of see the context of it too. But maybe he's just talking about the versatility that Latofsky could bring. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm glad you started with this is the best the offensive line has looked since he's been here, because otherwise I'm a little bit questioning. I think tackle's a spot one of the most important spots on the team, 2 of the biggest positions, obviously, and not having that solidified or maybe, maybe they have somewhat of an idea, but not completely going to release it. That would make it feel a little bit better. But, and then additionally throwing kind of the Latofsky thing in there, I'm just not convinced. I'm sorry. Nebraska has had years to bring in tackles and they haven't been able to really do it. And so now all of a sudden to tell me they've got 5, 6 lined up and any of them can play, I'm not convinced.
There's things that I feel really good about. I feel like Dylan Raiola is going to be a good quarterback. Again, all Big Ten type performer at some level. That's all I'm looking for. I don't want to say that's all, but that's what I'm looking for. And I feel like that's very realistic. Good starting running back. We can go to 13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, no problem. We can go to 12 personnel, all right, with 2 tight ends, from Lindenmeyer to Harburg. Haven't heard a lot about Nelson other than he looks different, and we know he's an athlete. But 12 personnel. All right, the 3 interior offensive linemen. All right, Justin Evans to Latovsky and Spindler. You feel really good about. The question marks, just like there's going to be question marks on defense as well, just because you haven't seen it. You haven't seen it in front of you in a game situation to where you're like, you can definitively say, well, we look good there. I can see it now. We haven't seen it yet. Haven't played a game yet, but haven't seen it. As you mentioned, maybe in recent history, offensive tackle. Who's going to step up? Who's going to step up? Who's going to step up? I remember going into my sophomore year. It was a battle. Who's going to step up and win that other defensive end job? Opposite side of Bernard Thomas. I was in the same situation. There were similar questions. Who was going to step up? Who was going to fight, scratch, and claw? Who was going to get better? Who was going to earn it day in and day out? I still think we have 2 Sunday players, Gunnar Gatula, Elijah Pritchett, that are in that offensive tackle conversation. Who's going to step up? You look at the running back depth. Who's going to step up? He's talking about guys just doing, I don't want to say just doing basic, simple things, because it makes it sound easy. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it. Not everybody can do it. But who's going to step up and do those things? Like, those are some of the question marks that I have. Who ends up being our backup quarterback? Was last year the first year we've had in like 8 or 9 years where the starting quarterback didn't miss a game at some point? I think it was last year was the first year in 6, 7, 8 years. So just in case, who is that guy? That doesn't mean, oh, we think those spots are bad. It means it needs to be proven. You got anything to add real quick?
No, I think you pretty much covered there. And I guess I kind of forgot about that Nebraska, that Raiola was able to stay healthy and that recently Nebraska's had that problem.
So let me correct. It wasn't Henry Latovsky. Got a correction here. It was Gunnar Gatula.
Okay, yeah.
That makes more sense. That makes a little bit more sense.
Strike everything I said. I love the tackle position at Nebraska. No.
Well, we can only go off the information that we're given. So I'm glad we could correct that. Okay. Let me see here. Get back on track here. It says the offensive line. Oh, we already talked about that. It says guys are upholding the standard of what the Nebraska offensive line is a player-led room, and says they are a special group. Says he thinks Turner Corcoran can play all 5 spots. So I know Sam Sledge is a guy that can step up in there, but if Justin Evans were to go down, like who's the other center? Okay, because that's a unique spot. Essentially, it's not the exact same thing because the hand placement, the footwork, the stance is different. But if you can play left guard, you can play right guard. Okay, it's harder to transition from left to right tackle because there's more space you're dealing with, but you can do that. All right, center, obviously, as we saw in years past, snapping, blocking, doing all that stuff, calling any of the audibles because you are the quarterback of the offensive line, pointing out where the mic is, protections, all that good stuff. There's a lot that goes into playing center. Not just anybody can just slide into that role and do it. So if Turner can do it, Sam can do it, whoever can do it, whoever the backup center is, that's a very important job in case, we need another guy to step up at some point. Hopefully everyone stays healthy. All right. Says guys are upholding the standard what the Nebraska offensive line is. What that means to me, blue collar, in your face, smash mouth, physical football. It doesn't mean you do everything right. It doesn't mean you don't get beat sometimes. Those guys are on scholarship. They're getting paid NIL. They're lifting. They're watching film. They're trying to get better too. When they do beat you, how do you respond? When you get punched in the mouth, how do you respond? Do you punch them right back in the mouth in a football sense, metaphorically speaking and literally speaking as well? So that's what that means to me. I want to see a physical, they're huge, and they are talented, and they are experienced offensive line. So that's what that means to me. Kind of what does that mean to you there, Jake?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think the excitement for them, and I'm glad you stated because you're talking about the other day, is just how big they are. And so, while I do have these kind of long-standing thoughts about the offensive line and maybe marginally getting better here and there, but still kind of missing out on tackle, though Gatula stepped up well. It is. It kind of goes back to the fact that they probably should be heading. They should be stronger in Raiola's 4th year. And so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'd love to hear from Coach Raiola and kind of see where this is, because again, these are, I think the front lines are the biggest questions coming into the year on offense and defense.
So getting some feedback from some folks that there might be some older fans who are already saying they won't wear black to the blackout against USC potentially.
Okay.
We'll see how this unfolds. So again, this is not a hill I'm going to die on, but my preference, I like the traditional jerseys that we tend to wear. I'm a fan of big brand traditional jerseys. That's just what I like. I don't need anything fancy. Okay, that's just me. I think it speaks to sometimes less is more, and it speaks to we don't need to try to follow the cool kids to be one because we're already a leader. That's just how I see it. Now, if you win football games, that's a lot easier to say. The more football games you win, the easier that is to have that attitude. I do kind of like the idea of the all-black uniforms, the blackout. Oh, God, I hope it's a night game versus USC day after Halloween. I can get into that. Part of that is my 100% black shirt bias. I know they're not black shirt uniforms, but in my eyes, they are. If people don't want to wear black, I understand it. What I would say is if that's what they're calling for, I say let's do it. Whether it's somebody's preference or not, I say let's do it. I wonder if people might feel differently if we were, say, 4-0 versus 0-4 in black type uniforms. Final thoughts before we had to break on that, Jake?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you. I mean, I get it too. I like the tradition, the sea of red, all of that. But like you said, this is a special event. They're trying to come together. They're trying to do something. That's why I'm never the real reason I'm not all the way sold on black shirt or blackouts is because we've seen how they've worked, right? Checkered black, checkered, red here and there. And so it just hasn't really came together. I think because of those maybe ideas about non-traditional, wanting to go away from the traditional jerseys. I would say just, it's the day after Halloween. Have some fun. If you're not going to wear black, put on an outfit and just have some fun with everybody else.
What if there were 92,000 Halloween costumes in the stands?
That'd be sweet.
That would never happen, but it would be phenomenally phenomenal. Going back to our guffaw that we've since corrected, knowing that Gunnar Katula, because I said it is harder to swing from left tackle to right tackle to left than it is left guard to right guard. There's just much more space, much more speed versus the players that you're going to be dealing with. It's harder to do. But the fact that he has confidence that Katula can go right, can go left. If Pritchett does win that left tackle job, it makes you feel better about the right tackle job if he's the best option. Maybe it's Canuck, maybe it's Corcoran, maybe it's Prohaska. We'll see what happens there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
MMA fighting is back this Saturday with summer season VFL 4 at the Complex. Lincoln's best amateur MMA fighters will display their best performances, with Misael Monares fighting Colin Fisher for the welterweight title to wrap up the night. Get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com, where you can live stream the event as well. Doors will open at 6 p.m. with the first bout at 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 16th, all at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Batter up! Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We've gotten feedback such as you and I need to wear costumes on the Halloween Day show. What are you going to wear, Jake?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. My son usually decides these days what I'm going to wear. If we do a group outfit.
Tinkerbell?
No. We might go as Ghost or something. I don't know what he's going to choose.
And what would one of the texters say? 60,000 Beetlejuices or something like that?
Yeah, I need 60,000 Beetlejuices minimum in the stadium.
What are the other 32,000 people wearing?
I don't know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts on the show today is there was, let me see here, Justin Evans also had a brief stint up at the podium for the press conference. Says O-line feels like a veteran unit. No reason why they shouldn't win. Says you definitely need to be patient with younger guys. It takes time to learn the position. Very, very true. Dylan Raiola is one of the smartest dudes he has been around. And he has not seen the new uniforms just yet. So a lot of positivity coming out from Raiola, Donovan, from Justin Evans, who they think should be in the Remington Trophy conversation. They flat out said he should probably win it. Man, I'm ready to see a good offensive line, consistent offensive line is what I should say, because there's been ups and downs, consistent offensive line play, a line that can open holes, especially at the moments when we need to run the ball the most, third and short, goal line, red zone, an offensive line that can keep Raiola clean in the pocket if it does break down. Hey, Holgorsen talked about how Raiola's doing better on the move out of the pocket. He's progressing in that area of his game. So those are things that I'm excited to see come August 28th. I want to see it on the field. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting closer. That's the good news, right? We're getting closer to game day, less than 2 weeks away. And we'll see again all these different statements that to be quite frank, again, from off of 7-6 team, a lot of more of the wait and see approach. Well, then we can see. That's the portion that we're kind of trying to get to. So I'll have obviously a better judgment on whether, because that's high praise. You think about the best center in the nation or one that came close to it. We've seen that recently in Cam Jurgens, so he knows what that looks like. I didn't necessarily get that read yet from Justin Evans. Could it be there? Maybe it can.
Do you think I think it's a mix. I think Matt Rule believes what he's saying. Okay. I'm not trying to say that he doesn't. I think it's a little bit of he knows there's negativity out in this thing called social media, and he knows his players see it. You know why I know he thinks that? Because he said it at press conferences, especially Big Ten Media Day. And I think he's flat out said they don't need to hear negativity from me. So I think he's trying to send positive messages out there. So I think he believes it. I think there's also a degree of it. Hey, if I speak it, they're more likely to hear it. And it's almost like he's trying to talk to his players. He can obviously talk directly to them, but social media is a different line of communication. And if he can speak it out there, maybe his players will see and hear more of that thing and help bring it to fruition. How much do you think of it is that when you start to hear some of these things that are said at the press conferences?
I think that is a lot of it, and especially like you said, you kind of broke it down, that Matt Rule has kind of said as much. So it makes some sense, and I can appreciate that. That kind of falls into the speak it into existence type of category. I'm here and there on it. Again, I was kind of overwhelmed by how everything was elite the first year, so that was kind of had to adjust to, and then things weren't as elite as maybe I had been told. So it's fine. I think a lot of it wouldn't like to see the pads do the talking, and again we get closer and closer to that.
Yes. Bring your big boy pads, as my D-line coach at the Rams used to say. I used to coach against this guy where we lived before. He always had a really good youth football team. And every year we'd chat, Shane and I would chat, and he would just tell me how bad they were, how awful they were, and we're going to suck, and we don't know what we're going to do. And then they'd go out and they steamroll everybody. It would end up usually being our two teams in the championship. And it got to a point where I didn't pay attention to anything that dude said. He did not care about speaking positivity into existence at all. I think he wanted people to downplay, overlook, and not pay attention to it. I think that was his approach. But hey, everybody's different. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to speak into existence. You having a glorious weekend, a phenomenal weekend. Stay cool. And if you have a pool, lake, go hop in and have some fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until Monday, go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the ball.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year.